and welcome to third part of basic fingerpicking for rockabilly guitar. Today I'd like to show you a couple of interesting techniques and chord shapes that you can find in original Buddy Holly recording from 1958, and the tune is called Blue Days Black Nights, and the original guitar parts were recorded by Sonny Curtis. So let's have a look at the chord shapes and the harmony that we have in the song. Basically it consists of three chords: A major, E7, again we have A7 and D major. But these chord forms are inverted, and depending on the melody they move around in different places on the neck. So I'll play the whole thing slowly to show you how the chord shapes shift before we move on to tabs, and we'll go bar by bar and have a look at the right hand picking technique. So our first chord, A major. This is the form of the chord that is played on first four strings. It's just like having a bar chord form, but we're leaving the bar out. And all we do is small bar for first two strings. On third strings it's 6th fret, and on fourth string it's 7th fret. And we'll use open strings. So first bar has this alternating bass chord rhythm going. But we'll try to make it work together and see in the vertical plane of the bar what's going on, what elements are there. Is there a bass note with melody note? Is there a chord? Is the chord on its own? Is there a melody note in between chord and bass note? And this way we'll approach every pattern that we have in the song, every fingerpicking pattern. We'll start off with pickup bar with 3 notes that lead us to the first chord. And then we form our A major chord shape. And probably it would be good to see what the picking hand is doing in here. So we start off with thumb on the 5th string. Then I use my middle finger and thumb pick to play 4th and 1st string. Then my thumb plays 6 open string. And next 2 notes are played with middle finger, index finger and thumb pick. So we'll have bass note, 2 notes together, bass note, melody note and chord note that is being played with index and thumb. So this is our first rhythm and first picking pattern. Then we move to E9 chord on 7th fret, and we'll use a little bit different picking pattern. There's going to be a little roll on first 3 strings. And picking pattern in the right hand is bass note on 7th fret of 5th string, together with first string that I pluck with my middle finger. Then second note of the chord is just a single note, again played with my middle finger. And then there's a thumb pick and index finger, 3rd and 4th string together. And to get a nice syncopation, I go back to my first string. And after that, I put my middle finger of my fretting hand on 7th fret of 6th string to move my bass note of the chord. Then we have another chord, which is A7 here in 9th position, and we apply exactly the same picking pattern in the right hand. And then we move to D major chord. And D major chord in this case is played just on 3 strings, and we use open 4th string. Then I go back to my A major form. So here we have just 2 melody notes on first 2 strings. So we have melody and bass note on the 5th string, chord note, single melody note in between bass note and chord note, then 6th string and chord notes on the middle 2 strings. And here is the fun part, when we have partial chord shape of E7. There are just 2 notes that we'll fret with our 2 middle fingers, with middle and ring finger, on 2 middle strings. We'll use open string for the bass note, and in this case we have our index and pinky to play the melody on first string. And the melody is syncopated, so most of the notes will be in between whatever we play in our rhythm backing. So we have bass note, melody note, chord note, melody note, bass note, melody note, chord. And last 2 bars is something pretty similar to the examples that we covered in the first 2 videos on basic fingerpicking for rockabilly guitar. And we're in, again, with our A major chord shape. And we'll use hammer-ons and pull-offs, adding notes to our A major chord shape. So first thing that we have in here are, of course, two single notes, bass and melody. Then there's a part of major chord. Then we'll use syncopated hammer-on from 5th to 6th fret. And the tricky part is to hit bass note with your thumb while doing the hammer-on on the 3rd string. So the last bar will have a little pull off. So here's the whole thing. Let's have a look at the whole pattern again from the top. I hope you liked today's video. Stay tuned for more and see you next time.